Howdy, all you humdingers. It's me, Kim, former Fat Woman Goes Raw, and now it's discovering my true north. Welcome to my channel. I have put a few teasers, I guess 2 teaser shorts out there for you. It's my first time doing a short. It was kind of fun. I was surprised that I got so many views on there right away, or is it? I don't know what shorts are supposed to get. They're like 1,300 views in like less than 24 hours. Which scares the crap out of me. I'm trying to get more of a full body shot, but it's tough. I'm gonna get the habit of all this. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to figure out the camera and everything. But as I promised, I wanted to talk to you about how I lost 125 pounds. I'll be looking over here to reference this thing, so I'm not all over the place like I was with my catch-up video. I don't want you to have to sit through boring just details on and on, which I probably will get into anyway, because I'm very long-winded, as you will find out if you don't know me. Yes, I'm Kim, lost 125 pounds. This is not the first time I've lost a lot of weight. This will be the third time. So we'll go into that just really briefly, okay? The first time, I was doing a lot of fasting, and I had not yet developed thyroid disease. I have Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, which if you have that, you'll know that it does all kinds of things. It makes you extremely, very difficult to lose weight. Sorry, I'm after hours here at work, and I get a little freaked out sometimes. So with that first time, I lost a lot of weight. I was able to because my thyroid was still functioning normally. And so I just basically fasted and got on the elliptical, and that came off like that. The second time I lost a lot of weight, I was doing a 100-day juice fast with my fasting channel, my raw food channel called Fat Woman Goes Raw. I really want to try to get through this without having to edit. I really hate editing. So in that one, actually I disabled those videos because I honestly don't want to lead people astray with them. I feel like they're very unrealistic. It's a very unsustainable way to do it, and I really don't think it's the healthiest. I went through a lot of juice fasting, and fasting in general I think is incredibly good for you. I think it's very healing. It can get rid of a lot of damaged cells through autophagy. When you're not eating, your cells begin to eat the bad cells. Your body absorbs the bad cells, the precancerous cells, the cancerous cells that people have going on in them. They don't even know it. So I highly recommend fasting. I really do. I highly recommend it. And it got me a long ways. But I did end up gaining all the way back because I didn't have a long-term way of maintaining it. It's like I got it off, and then it's like, now what? Right? And so I attempted a third time after regained all the weight. This time I had not only a thyroid diagnosis, but I had a diabetes diagnosis, which I never thought in my life, I never thought I would see that happen, because I had been 350, 360 pounds before, a couple different times. And yeah, I didn't have any problem with my blood sugar. I didn't have trouble. I wasn't even pre-diabetic. I was, perfect. In fact, people who were thinner than me had diabetes type 2, and they were really jealous and irritated with me, because I obviously wasn't healthy. I'm not saying that if you're 350 pounds, you're not healthy. I was 350 pounds, 360 pounds. I was not healthy. I was not. I had high blood pressure, and then just with the thyroid problem, and the weight destroyed my joints. that was my experience, and I'm here to tell you my experience. There may be, actually, I know a lot of people who are 400 or 500 pounds, and they're thriving. Well, they seem to be thriving. They don't have joint problems. They're out there cycling, some of them, and living their life, swearing to God, that they're fine. And I'm not here to judge or fat shame, because if anybody knows anything about fat shame, it's me, from what I've done to myself, shamed myself for many, many years. But I don't want to spend too much time on old diets, because I don't want to waste your time, because this is a lot. It's a big story, and I'm not here to write a book today. I just kind of want to show you and help anybody who's had the same challenges that I have. When I got to where I was diabetic, then everything I ate was causing insulin spikes. And anybody that knows anything about insulin resistance and diabetes is that when you eat carbs, any kind of carbs that are higher on the glycemic index, potatoes, pasta, bread, certainly sweets, chocolate, things like that, you're going to have a insulin spike, because the insulin has to take care of that sugar. And so what it does is it puts it in a little taxi cab and it drives it into your fat cells. And you can be exercising your ass off. And exercise does help, but if your carb and insulin counts are just overriding everything else, then you're going to gain weight. And if you are calorie counting, you're still going to have a hard time losing weight, because every time you eat, even if it's only 500 calories, your insulin spike is causing a reaction. Your insulin is coming and saying, okay, let's take care of these. If we don't get this sugar out of the bloodstream, it's going to make them go blind. It's going to affect the heart. It's going to affect the liver. It's going to affect, cause neuropathy in the limbs and all this stuff. So the insulin's job is to get it out of the bloodstream. So what does it do? It puts it on your stomach. It makes you gain weight. And this is why, even though I believe in keto for non-diabetics, because I think there's a certain amount of insulin resistance even for non-diabetics, but for a diabetic, from what I've seen from the literature and what my doctors told me, if you're a diabetic and you're not watching your carbs and you're lowering your carb count, which is sugar and starches and all these things, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to lose weight. And it was nearly impossible for me to lose weight. So it wasn't really until I started getting into the keto and changing the way I ate that the weight literally started coming down. I lost a certain amount of weight last year from a lot of fasting, but it got to the point to where the fasting, because fasting produces cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and the stress hormone says, hey, good buddy, no, you can fast all you want. The weight's not going anywhere because we're going to save your life. There are heroes, right? So the cortisol kicks in, and then pretty soon you find yourself not losing a damn thing, which is what happened to me. So that's when I went ahead and switched over to keto, which I was kind of doing keto too a little bit along there last year. And I did get a certain amount of weight off, but most of the weight started coming off, when I said, okay, I just decided I'm going to do keto, and it started coming off. And it started coming off very consistently. And it's been coming off at an excruciatingly, frustratingly, agonizingly slow pace that some of you might click off, like I said in my other video. If you had told me back when I lost all that weight doing the fasting and things years ago, with the juice fast, if you told me I was only going to lose 6 pounds a month, I would have said no, no way. In fact, I looked at diets like that and I wasn't interested because I wanted it now. I wanted that weight to come off. I'm, go big or go home gal. That's how that's why I've accomplished so much in my life. And I tried to apply that to my diet, my health, and it just ended up, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat you. I just ended up, it just stalled. A lot of weight loss stall. I'm not used to it. It's been a long time since I've done this. You're gonna have to have some grace on me. So with the keto came the calorie counting. I put myself in a caloric deficit because there's so much. I know there are different schools of thoughts on this. I still am a solid, hardcore calories in, calories out gal, because you put gas in the car, it's going to get you to where you need to go if you have enough of it. But when you run out, right? And so it's the same type of thing. And does that make sense? What am I trying to say? If you put less fuel in your body than what you need, it's going to go to your fat stores, basically. And this is an old way of dieting. I know it's been this way for years. And there are probably a lot of people that can be like, no, honey. But I've been doing this my entire adult life. So for me, that's what worked. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm really not. But I'm suggesting if you've tried every other means and you haven't gotten anywhere, I'm just saying you may want to try it. I'm going to be going into a lot of this on my channel. Eventually, I want to do some coaching. Well, I've been coaching. I've coached several people at work. I've had some people lose 20, 30, 40, and 50 pounds. Of course, I didn't charge them or anything. They're my friends. But so I know that it works. I know this works. And I'm just really excited and I want to share it because I know I was in such a terrible health battle because of the weight. And like I said in my last videos, it destroyed my knees. I had to have them both replaced. And it saved my life. I really think it did. And now I've been working on this for the last probably 4 years, I guess. And I've lost a good portion of this since last year. And what else can I say? A lot of protein. When you keep your protein up, you are satiated. You have energy. And unlike other diets or fasts where when I did that juice fast years ago and lost that weight, I was successful. However, people didn't know. I felt like I was dying a lot of the time. I felt so awful. I felt pretty weak. In some ways, I felt really good, and it did help heal a lot of things. But it was so hard. It wasn't sustainable. And one thing about the keto diet, for me at least, having all the protein, it keeps that insulin from spiking, it helps the weight to release, and it gives you lots of energy because then your body is eating off the fat stores rather than just saying, listen, we need more food. I mean, every other diet I've ever been on, I was starving all the time. And when you're on keto, sometimes you struggle just to eat. It's kind of like a natural GLP-1 in a way, or 2 or 3 or whatever is out there now. I think my daughter's trying 3 right now. And people are very successful on there. I can say, because I'm not against any of that. I tried GLP once. I tried Ozempic and Mounjaro, and I didn't lose any weight. And I also felt like I was passing a small child through my body, through my intestines. I was in so much pain. all the time for a couple months. I started calling out of work. And last year I actually got my job promotion last spring. And I was like, I can't jeopardize my job for this, you know. And there was no weight coming off. I think I lost 4 pounds and then it came right back. So anyway, the doctor's like, nope, this isn't going to happen. This isn't working for you. The only other thing that I really considered doing and was recommended to me by my heart doctor, and this was back, I think when I had my second child, like 25 years ago, he said, you're going to have to get a gastric bypass surgery because every time you diet, your body, because of my thyroid and my insulin resistance, he was saying you're basically going to have to starve yourself to lose weight, and your body's not going to allow you to do that. Your appetite is always going to win out. And he was right. But I don't know, I just kept hoping that maybe something else will be it. Maybe something else will be it. And to be quite honest with you, and I have nothing against anything that gets you weight loss, okay? If you want to have your stomach removed, I'm going to be over there cheerleading you on, because I know what it's like to be overweight. It's awful. It's an awful thing. I know several people who have had gastric bypass surgeries, and they've had to have it done like a second and third time because their stomach adapts, our bodies adapt to say, well, we're going to get enough nutrients for you one way or another. And there's a lot of anemia and malnourishment and all these things. And I don't know, I just, like I said, nothing against it. If it's working for you, hey, high five, man. Any way you can get it off. It's because it's been it's rough. It does continually cause health issues unless you're like I said, I'm not fat shaming, but unless you're some Marvel like superhero that can be extremely overweight and not end up with ortho problems, you know, destroyed back and knees and feet and heart and just all the things. I think the majority, at least the people I've ran into, it's no good. It's no good. And when I started this, I weighed 360 pounds back in 2020. And this is 2026. So I farted around, and it's taken me a while, but I've come down several layers. I went from a 4X. I was a 4X at the top of my journey in 2020. 2021 is when I hired the health coach, and she basically put me on a low carb, high vegetable, calorie deficit diet, and I began to lose weight with that. And it was after that I kind of I phased into keto or deep keto, fasting first and then deep keto. So I was a 4X. Even the 4Xs didn't really work, and I would be like, these can't be right. The 4X is from Walmart. Walmart runs big, and I couldn't wear them. They were too short, and they would show my belly. And I'm now tight size 14. I'm going to be completely transparent. The 16s I have, a friend of mine at work gave me a whole bin of size 16 capris and shorts. These jean shorts are so cute. And I've been wearing them, but they're starting to get loose. So, oh my God, they're all really nice brands too. I'd say there's probably $400 worth of stuff in there that she gave me. But I'll just pass it down to someone else. You know, she said she said at the rate you're losing weight, you know, you'll probably be growing out of these, and you can just pass these forward to somebody else, which I will. But man, so I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I'm of type 14. I'm 234. I told you that in my last video. So 360 to 234. And my next goal is 200. I want to be in Wonderland. Even if it's 199.999999999. And then after that, I'll probably be, I'm going to shoot for like 165. My friend is 161 now. She looks so skinny. She looks really thin. She has mentioned that when I get my coaching going or my channel, that she will be like a testimonial. Everybody has said that. So at some point, maybe you'll get to meet them. That would be cool. I do want to, I think, what else we got here? What did I write down? I didn't do a whole lot of exercise to lose much, Okay, I didn't do a whole lot of exercise to lose this weight, if any. I only just started exercising probably 3 months ago, and that's because I had damaged knees. And I mean, outside of just, like my knee recovery exercises and things, I couldn't, if I got up and walked at all, like I walked at the Cranberry Festival with my family, and I hadn't yet had my right knee done. I think I had my left knee done. And it was great. I walked around. I did it. I did all the things. I ate the corn dog. And I got home. That was a period where I was living at my mom's because we thought her health was failing. I couldn't walk for 3 days. She was waiting on me. My mother was waiting on me because I couldn't walk. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of exercise that went into that. But I have been exercising the last 3 months because I had my second knee replacement. I'm sorry. I'll try to cut that out for whoever that is. I had my second knee replacement done last September. And so these knees take about a year to heal. And my left one's perfectly healed up now. But my right one, it had been, now it's been, I think, about 8 months it's been since I had that done. And now I'm walking 5 miles a day. Easy. No pain. No pain. I will say, because I started doing these step-ups. I think I showed you, well, if you watched the last video, I had this stupid little plastic step, and I decided I thought it'd be a great idea to do some step-ups for my quadriceps. And I did 120, 60 on each leg. And so my back is hurting. I am struggling a little bit. So I'm not in real good shape. Like, athletically. So, yeah, it's taken some time. So, like I said, you can lose weight without working out. Working out sheds very little calories, and it will help your metabolism, but the majority of the weight that I lost was without any exercise. I know a lot of people don't want to probably hear that, but exercise is incredibly good for you and necessary for other reasons, like keeping you from getting osteoporosis, and when you use your muscle, it pulls on the bone, and then it ends up contributing density to your bones. Anyway, it's kind of hard to explain, but so right now on this diet, I'm doing a calorie deficit of probably about 700 to 800 calories deficit per day, probably. And with that, I'm losing about 6 pounds a month. And I had a stall last month, but then I turned around and I was whoosh, it just all came up back off. So yeah. The only other thing I want to talk about is frankenfoods. I'm not your perfectionist YouTube girl. You know, I'm just not that girl. I'm just not her. Okay. I use aspartame. I drink Diet Coke. There are things that I have used, not drugs, but there are things I've used to keep me on this path because 360 pounds is pretty dangerous and unhealthy. It just is. I'm sorry if I've offended anyone with that, but it is. It has been for me. I've had when I was that size, I was having atrial fibrillation on top of it, top of the blood pressure, on top of the high blood sugar, and there are some transitional foods. Transitional. I mean, I've been transitioning for years on them. That's why I put it in quotes. Things that help me, because sometimes I have these cravings for certain things, like the peanut butter parfaits at Dairy Queen, the stuffed crust pizzas, pepperoni and sausage pizzas from Pizza Hut, and an entire cake, especially as an emotional eater. I'm an emotional, that's where a lot of us were raised that food is comfort. Food means, hey, you're not going to die of starvation. And so we have that built into our brain. And so these things, when things sorry. When these things get tough, then I want to have something. Like if you're going through something, then I want to eat a cake, and I have eaten a cake. I remember a couple years ago, I told my coworkers and friends, I was like, I had a dark day at the lake. Minnesota and Minneapolis, we have beautiful lakes. It's the land of 10,000 lakes. I think that's Minnesota, but we have a bunch. And there's one a mile from my house, my apartment. And I was having a dark day. I don't remember what it was anymore. It's been a couple of years. I really don't remember. It wasn't love, don't worry. But I said, okay. So I went and ordered myself a large pizza of some kind. And one of those little Debbie cakes with the pumpkin spice roll cake. I'm sorry if you're here for inspiration. I'm just not perfect. I'm not that girl. I ate all of it. And I had a 2-liter Diet Pepsi just because I prefer diet drinks. And so now, getting back to my point, there was a point to all this. Rather than eating a huge pizza and little Debbie cakes, an entire box, and maybe some Hershey Treasures with almonds, I can go and eat a Carb Smart bar. It has like 4 grams of carbs. I can put some peanuts on it. I found sugar-free Hershey Hot Fudge. When you're on this, you are very resourceful. You find ways to be resourceful. There's chips now, Quest and Wild brand, that have every, because that was another thing. Another cheat food for me were chips and dip. And, I don't eat these things all the time, okay? I've gotten to where they're there as a tool, kind of like a rescue in my toolbox. Chalk Zero is another good brand because they actually do have some things with some healthy sweeteners like monk fruit. Chalk Zero is all monk fruit, I believe, but you have to order it, which I do. But these things help. So today, there you go. Quest peanut butter cups. Do I love them? Nope. They're pretty decent. 1 gram of net carbs, 11 grams of protein. It's going to be backwards, isn't it? But it's going to help in a pinch. Like I had a sweet tooth. I had a kind of a stressful, not stressful, but just there was a lot at work today because I have to hire a new person. We're hiring, by the way. And so I just wanted something sweet. So I went and I knew I had this. I have boxes in the other room of them, and I keep them around in case of an emergency. So I had that, and I had that instead of going to Culver's and getting something entirely lovely, you know. But and I wanted a burger. I was craving a burger, so I went to Culver's. That's where I saw the picture of the lovely thing, right there, as I was going through the drive-through. And I got the burger with no bun. I hate shit with no bun. Get it out of my face, okay? So, I have everything right here to show you. Oh, so I get this keto bread. It's got 1 gram per slice of carbs. And let me tell you, you want to go as low as you can on keto. I'm sorry, it's backwards. I don't know how to fix that. 1 gram. And since I'm diabetic, it's best for me to stay under 20 grams. And half the time I'm under 10 grams or less. Because I know I have that insulin problem. And it's just no good. And I think a good portion of the United States now are diabetic. So I think this is going to benefit a lot of people. And even if you're not registering on the Richter scale as diabetic, I think that you're going to benefit, because if you're overweight, if you're watching this, you're probably overweight, unless you just think I'm really cute. But I'm just kidding. So the best thing for insulin resistance, you know, is for that. Sorry. Well, if you saw my last video, I talked about how my thoughts are like 10 big men trying to get through the door at the same time. So I'm sorry, I do have ADHD. But if you're overweight, 10 to 1, you're insulin resistant, and then you're going to benefit from this video or any other video about being keto. And let me tell you, there are 5 million ways to lose weight. You can lose weight. I know because I've done it. Fasting, calorie reduction. I went to Weight Watchers back in the day. Lost a little bit. Juice fasting. I've done Whole Foods diet. So freaking boring. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do a Whole Foods diet. But the way I was doing it was just awful. It was back in the 80s. It was quinoa. Things like that, which are really good. But anyway, there are a lot of different ways you can lose weight. You have to find the one that works for you. I mean, you really do. We're all different. We have different tastes. This, even though it's not perfect, it's working. I'm down from 4x to a tight 14. And I'm starting to feel pretty good about that. You know? Like I said, I want to get down to 200, and then I want to get down to 165, and then whatever happens after that is fate. I don't know. I want to be as healthy as possible. I'm 58 years old, and I don't know. I think our bodies are forgiving to a certain point, and then the shit starts hitting the fan. If you're young and overweight, and you're sitting here in your 30s, there are probably some other routes that you may rather take than the route I'm taking to get this off. And you know what? I support you. You got to do what you think you can long term. And that's the whole thing. I could white knuckle this, and I have white knuckled it. At the beginning of the year, I did rolling 48 fasts. Rolling 48 fast, 48 hours. I would fast for 48 hours, eat one day, and I wasn't eating 5,000 calories. I was eating like 1,500 calories. And I just couldn't sustain that, and my body got sick of it and said, we're not losing any more weight. You're going to have to do something different. So you have to do what you think you can do long term. And I think that's the mistake I made through the years, is thinking, well, I'm going to do a really hard short spurt, kind of like the, what are they in running, the sprints. But it doesn't work. It seems like it works. It's a mirage, because you lose a lot of weight and then you binge and it comes back. That's what happened to me. That's what's happened to a lot of people. Anyway, so moving forward, this channel is going to be about me showing you, hopefully, me getting to my goals. It's going to take a really long time compared to a lot of this fad diet stuff out here that they say, they promise you, you can lose 20 pounds in a month. And I have not found that to be true. I am on the other end of that spectrum, where it's agonizingly, boringly slow. So it's not impossible. So if you're in that camp with me, welcome. If you're not in the camp with me, but you just think I'm awesome, welcome. If you're an old friend, welcome. Oh God. And I just want to give a shout out to Tammy, girlfriend. I have to give a shout out to her. We're helping each other. She's been very motivating and inspiring too. So I know you're gonna be watching. So, and it's nice to hear from other people too, who are glad to see me back. I was so excited. Because for context, for anybody else, if you made it to 36 minutes of my video here, I used to have a channel called Fat Woman Goes Raw, and this is actually that channel, but I've changed the name to Discovering My True North, and I want to include some other things. I have some shots of me like kayaking and learning how to drive a boat for the first time, being on the swing set like a ding-dong, a 58-year-old nerd who still loves to get on the swing set. And I think that's about it. Whew. It's not even about 40 minutes. I did pretty good. It's pretty organized. I'm sure that I will probably remember something I forgot, but I'll be making, this is not the end. This is not just one video, so I will be back. And I'm really excited. I think this is for good, ladies and gentlemen. I won't be disappearing again. And I just have to say something too. I want to apologize to anyone that I ever hurt or offended who knows me through this channel. But also, I want to apologize for disappearing. I don't want to talk a whole lot about that, but I'm very sorry that I disappeared. You know, sometimes you get things in your head that maybe aren't true. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you for tuning in. I'm excited about our journey together. If you are on a similar journey, please share. Share in the comments. Share with me. If there's a way to message me on there, I don't even know. Does YouTube even have a messaging system? I don't know. It probably does. But I am technologically inept. But anyway, I will see you on the flip side. Wait. There.